It's no secret that car dealership lots are completely full right now, and they're struggling to sell a lot of these cars, and now they're having to give discounts compared to just a few years ago. There were no discounts, and most were selling vehicles over MSRP. But it's all shifted. Now manufacturers brought back rebates, but customers are saying the discounts are nowhere near enough because prices have been increased so much over the last 5 years. I mean, if you want to buy a new vehicle that's quote unquote affordable, good luck. There's very few vehicles that are even in the $20,000 price point, and most have increased to 30 or 40 grand. And that's going to be with their most entry level vehicle. Because especially the domestic manufacturers, they learn that they don't need to sell a bunch of cars. They need to sell less cars but make more money per vehicle. So that's why they just want to sell overpriced trucks and SUVs. They would much rather sell one $100,000 pickup truck instead of selling a bunch of $15,000 or $20,000 cars. So that's why if you go to Ford, Chevy, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, you will see $100,000 pickup trucks at every single one of them. And SUVs, the prices are just completely insane. And a lot of manufacturers want to have subscriptions now, so to get additional features, you have to pay the manufacturer a monthly subscription, and you already paid for the car. It's like, get out of here with that stuff. But what's really interesting is the United States is not selling more new cars than they ever did. Even though there's more drivers on the road, we're selling fewer new vehicles. We sold more new cars in 2016 than we did last year, or even this year most likely, unless something dramatically changes. But the average consumer just can't afford it. The average new vehicle being over $50,000, and you got to think about that monthly payment. All dealerships and manufacturers are thinking 84 months. Finance it for as long as you possibly can, as many years as possible. That's the way they're going to sell these cars. Eventually, we're going to have 10-year auto loans. How else are they going to be able to sell these super expensive vehicles? And there are so many people who would go to a dealership and buy a car right now, but the simple answer is they can't. A lot of them bought a car from 2020 to 2023. They have so much negative equity they cannot trade it in, and those are the people that dealerships thrive on, the people that just continue to trade in and they make a lot of money off of them, especially when they buy all the finance products in the back and all the warranties and all this stuff. The dealership can make $10,000 on one deal. And the dealerships knew exactly what they were doing, but they screwed their own customer base, because those same customers are coming into the car lot now a couple years later saying, I want a new car. But the dealership can't get them approved because there's so much negative equity. They owe more on the car they're trading in than the car is actually worth. Just the average negative equity right now on an auto loan is over $7,000. The average new car payment over $700. So just think about that, and we see them $1,000 payments are over 20% of new cars sold. And so imagine if the banks start slowing down too at the same time, so people can't get approved, but the banks also starting to tighten up their restrictions because they know people are not making their payments. If you didn't know, it's the highest repo rates right now since 2009. So it's a problem. People got tied up in way too much car they can't afford over the last few years, and a lot of them took on way too much. And the dealerships had the best years ever. 2022, 2023, the most profit per vehicle for most dealerships, especially the ones that took full advantage with the greedy market adjustments or additional dealer profit added on top of the vehicle. So right now, since repo rates are rising, certain banks are starting to tighten up. They can't give loans out as easy. They're going to need more proof of this and that. There's going to be much more underwriting that's needed to get the loan approved. And so manufacturers combined with dealerships work together to screw their own customer base. I mean, manufacturers, all of them took away all their most affordable vehicles. Why does Ford not sell cars? Like, they should sell some sort of cheap little car. People would buy it, but they don't want to. They would much rather sell that $100,000 pickup truck, and then the dealership's going to add that $10,000 market adjustment with $300 nitrogen-filled tires. So the manufacturer thought he could corner the market with just having expensive vehicles, and the dealership thought he'll take full advantage with the market adjustment. Turns out they screwed their own customers. And that's the thing. The way to show these dealerships and manufacturers is to not buy their overpriced junk, especially if the dealership's adding the BS nitrogen-filled tires and market adjustments, stuff like that. I can't believe some dealerships are still doing market adjustments today in 2025. It makes no sense at all. But if you're gonna buy a new car in today's market, you have to do your research. You can't rely on the dealership for information. And you might even have to go out of state to get get a better deal because your local dealerships might all be doing market adjustments or some sort of addendum sticker. But I know one thing, because the internet, people are going online, they're watching videos, they're learning to negotiate, they're not playing games with these dealers. But there's still so many people that just walk in and the dealership can take full advantage, make 10 grand off of them. But I'm glad finally their lots are filling up. They're getting what they deserve. It makes sense why these dealerships can't sell cars in 2025. They're overpriced. Half of them have issues, or you need to pay a subscription to drive your car. It's just a crazy market we're in. But let me know what you think. Are you interested in any of these new cars? Have you messed with the dealership lately? Are they calling you nonstop, getting pretty desperate? Let me know what you think. Have a great day and stay blessed.